Hello everyone, welcome to our art lit lesson for Roy Lichtenstein. I am going to present to you how to do a screen print, and then you are going to get to do your own screen prints. And I want you to take this as just a guide to teach you kind of how to do it, and then I want you to play with it. So the products that we have here, we are going to be working with what's called a gel plate. It has this, save these for later, because this is how we protect them when we store them. But this is a very squishy, somewhat solid piece of floppy jelly that we are going to make screen prints on. Please treat these carefully, kindly, with the best respect, because they are not cheap. And not everyone has ever done this, so that's why we're doing this. So we have this jelly plate. That is what we're gonna make our print onto. Also, we have a guide sheet to help you place your picture, align it. So this is your guide. We have two options. You can do the pop or you can do the girl. I'm gonna demonstrate the girl right now. So you will align your jelly plate over that guide. Next, you will have a template. This is what you're gonna cut and use as your stencil, your template. And then these are your final pieces that you're going to actually design, do the print onto. So notice it's the reverse. So you put it down and bring it back up. These are your brayers. This is how you distribute the paint. We have 3 different paints based on Roy Lichtenstein, how he used the 3 primary colors. So you will do the yellow, you will brayer that on with your wet one, put your wet one aside, and then you'll put this down and use this as your dry one. So I like to keep my dry one on the left, my wet one on the right, and that kind of keeps it orderly. We also have wet wipes if you need them to clean anything, the brayer or whatever, but you shouldn't have to use that maybe in between to clean your plate of the color. But other than that, you probably shouldn't use that on these until the end. Speaking of the paint, you'll see I'm gonna literally just use this as my cleaning surface for the paint. And then you will have this bubble wrap. Please leave the bubbles intact because that's what's gonna give us our texture onto our jelly plate. You pull it off and then see you have some paint already distributed on there. So I am gonna take this, clean that up like so, and then we'll get started. Okay. So I'll show you the final product and kind of what I went for based on our artist's style of printing. So I did the background first, which was done in the yellow. It's nice to start with the yellow because it's lighter. If you make a mistake, you can layer the yellow in the background and then do another color. But so I actually started with the yellow first. So let's start with the yellow. So you do not need a lot of paint. Actually, before I do that, let's cut the template. So I have to decide where I'm gonna put the yellow. On this one, we're just gonna use this as my example. I used the background I decided was going to be yellow. So for this gal, I'm just gonna cut, and you can cut inside of that black line so that it kind of overlaps with the black, and then you won't see the edge of your yellow as much, as long as you line it up. That's the trickiest part, I think, is lining it up. Okay, see that? This is our background that we want to be yellow. So we're putting our background aside. Hold on to it because you will need it when you want to block that background for the other items. So here we go. That is our template. You can see that when you line it up, all that's showing is the yellow part of the background. So let's put the ink on. And you only need a few little drops. That's probably even enough. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And you're taking your wet brayer and you're going to just rub that onto this jelly plate. Do you have to go over the whole thing? No, you only have to go where that yellow is going to be showing. But you want it to be a smooth, consistent layer. Okay? And then do this, rub off that extra ink. Now, I want to get some texture, right? I want to get those Ben-Day dots. So I'm going to use this piece, lay it down, and press it. I'm just going to use my hands. You could use the dry brayer, but I am not going to. That's it. Just want to get a little bit of texture, and then I pull that up. And see, look at those cute dots. All right, now we got to block that. So we want to put our template down. Hope I just didn't knock you out. But see how I'm lining it up with the top of that line and the bottom of that line and kind of on that edge. Okay, here we go. So this one you can keep, I recommend cutting one of the edges so you can see where it lines up on the top. So I'm gonna cut off the top so that we can line up that top with the top of this line, right? And then of course that side will line up with that side. If you wanted to cut on that line, because she is pretty close to that line, I will cut on that line and we'll get a really nice 90-degree angle. Okay, ready? We're gonna put this down, line it up with that top line and on the side. Now take this as the dry one and I just press, roll over nice and evenly, all different ways to distribute that paint onto my paper. All right, here comes the fun part. Put that back over there because I want that to stay dry. Oh, see? There you go. It only kind of printed a little bit. Do we like it? Do we love it? Do we want to do it again? You can always try to do it again. So I'll just do it again a little bit more. Probably talk too long. So that's the thing, when you're distributing this paint, because it's so thin, it will dry. So that shows. Now we are gonna get some unaligned texture right there, but I'm okay with that. That's the beauty of this process. You're making prints. You're doing layers upon layers. Okay, so that's pretty thin. I'll do another little texture. Oh my gosh, I keep bumping it with my head. Pull that off. Put my template down. All right, let's line this thing up again. Ready? Line that up. Take the dry brayer. Oh, it moved. Let's see how that turned out. There you go. That's a little bit better. All right, so you're done with your yellow layer, but you need to reuse all of these backgrounds. So I'm gonna set this aside. I'm gonna need this and this for our next step. So take your wipe off all that excess. Okay, and then the next part is, okay, we've done our background. Now we get to make the girl her accessories. What accessories do we want to color? So I'm gonna start with the lips. So I wanna make her lips red. So I'm gonna cut out this part from the template. See, and I wanna make her lips red. Put some red on there. Just a drop. Go, 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 go. Okay. This is my dry one. This is my wet one. Do I want our lips to be polka dotted? I don't think so. I'm gonna leave it. Line this up. And just to be sure that I'm not gonna get any yellow, more ghosting. Just the red is revealed. Line that up. Hold it down. Take the dry brayer. Let's see. Ta-da! Red lips. Okay, and then if you want to continue, you can cut out her glasses. So see how I'm cutting into the black part? If you cut into the black part, then you won't see the edge of your print as much. That's how Roy did it. He would paint those black pieces last. So this is going to be where the ink is. So we want to preserve this circle on the inside. Product. Yeah, so he painted the black lines last to cover up any of those imperfections on the edges of his different areas that he was painting. Okay, so now we want to put down the background. No, paint. Do we want a lot? No, just a little. And I didn't really get a ton of the red off. That's pretty good. If you don't get it all off, red and blue make, does anyone remember? Red and blue make purple. So you just get some purple sunglasses. Okay, nice little layer there. Okay, now put your template back down. I'm covering up anything I don't want to be blue. And I don't think the lips will turn blue, but gosh, blue lips. No. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna line up our plate or our paper. And then brayer. Oh, see how I used the wet one? It's probably okay, but if it has a lot of paint on it, you don't want to. So I'm using the dry one to really rub to get those glasses blue. Let's see if it happened. Ta-da! There you go. So after that, you cut it out and then you can mount it onto the background. Thanks so much.